Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video lecture, I am going to discuss about last 10 year asked question from teaching aptitude. I have already uploaded one more video related to this topic and this is part 2. So please go through all these videos and I am sure that it will help you to score high in coming NET JRF exam. So let's start. In this series, the very first question I have taken is asked in recently September 2020 exam. Which one of the following assessment procedure is conducted during an in-progress teaching learning session? Summative, formative, norm referenced or criterion referenced? Please try to answer which one will be correct answer. Here the formative assessment is the correct answer. Formative assessment procedure is conducted during an in-progress teaching learning session. Okay. What is summative? Summative assessment is conducted in the end of the teaching learning session. So when we try to find out the achievement of the student after the teaching, that is called summative. Okay. Norm reference is when we compare a student achievement with other student. And in criterion reference test, we talk about individual achievement. Okay, when we compare a student achievement with other student, that is norm referenced, and in criterion reference test an individual score is not affected by the performance of their peers. So criterion reference test is about the individual achievement. Such type of question always ask in exam, so please keep in mind such topics. Okay, here the right answer will be formative assessment. Classroom interactions are influenced largely by student commitments, teacher-centric environment, organizational oversight or unsolicited interventions. Which one will be correct? So here the right answer will be option number A, students' commitment. Classroom interactions are influenced largely by students' commitment. Okay. Next question is the emphasis in memory level teaching is on which of the following? Okay, please check the question and try to answer. Here question talks about the memory level of teaching. Okay, we all know there are 3 levels of teaching: memory levels, understanding level and the reflective level, and it is the very favorite topic of UGC NET exam. So please keep it in mind, and question always asks that which one is the highest level of teaching. So it is the reflective level. Okay, now we talk about the memory level of teaching. Herbert was the exponent of memory level teaching, and he described the following steps for the presentation of the model of memory level teaching: focus, syntax, social system and support system. Okay. In memory level teaching, the facts and information of the cognitive levels are forcibly supplied to the brain of the student. Okay. Signal learning, chain learning and stimulus response learning are emphasized, and it is teacher centered. Okay. So we can say that memory level of teaching is about rote learning. Rote learning is about memorization of information based on repetition. Okay. So we can say that there's no generating new ideas in memory level of teaching, and there's only. So such type of question we can solve by elimination method. So option number B, seeing of relationship among facts, is not about the memory level of teaching, and option number D, critical thinking, it is also not about the memory level. So we can say that the correct option is option number 2, ACE, organization of thoughts and ideas, systematic presentation to enable quick reproduction and mastery of concept sequencing of facts. Okay. The next question is student respect a teacher who is emotional, displays concern for student, has a powerful voice or has a narcissist attitude. Which one will be correct? So here the right answer will be displays concern for students. Okay. Student respect a teacher who displays concern for student. Next question is, which of the learner characteristics will influence his/her perspective in a course of study? Which one will be correct? Please check all the options and try to answer. Options are learner's commitment, parents' interest in the learner, prior knowledge of learner, skill of the learner in the concerned area, family size of learner, and socio-economic background of the family to which the learner belongs. Which one will be correct? Such question we can solve by elimination method. Okay. So the learner's commitment is true. Parents' interest in learner is not true. Prior knowledge of the learner is true. Skill of learner in the concerned area is true. And family size of the learner is not true. So the true options are option number 1, option number 3, and option number 4. So 1, 3 and 4. So the right answer will be option number 1. Okay. Now come to the next question. Next question is, the performance of a student is compared with another student in which type of testing? We have already discussed this question. Okay. So we all know that the right answer is norm reference testing. Okay. In norm reference testing, we compare a student performance with another student. Okay. Okay, now come to the next question. Now come to the next question. Which of the strategies in the list given below will be associated with direct teaching? Okay, what is direct teaching? Direct teaching method is in the method teacher stands in front of a classroom and presents the information. Okay, teacher guide and give instructions to the student. So which one will be associated with the direct teaching? Such question we can solve by elimination method. So promoting inquiry is not a part of direct teaching, because in direct teaching teacher presents the information only. There is no promoting inquiry. And focusing on concept, it is also not correct. So it is also not part of direct teaching. So promoting inquiry and focusing on concepts are the not part of direct teaching. And problem raising and problem solving, it is also not a part of direct teaching. So here the right answer will be option number 3, providing examples and explanation, giving review and recapitulations, and offering practice and feedback. Okay, all 3 are the part of direct teaching. All 3 are associated with the direct teaching. Okay, now come to the next question. Next question is, which among the following reflects the best quality of teaching in classroom? Best quality of teaching in classroom क्या है? कैसे हम इसको reflect कर सकते हैं? Through the use of many teaching aids in classroom, through the quality of questions asked by student in classroom, through full attendance in the classroom, through observation of silence by the students in classroom. Which one will be correct? So such questions always asked in NET exam with different types. Okay, so here the right answer will be option number 2, through the quality of questions asked by the student in classroom, we can define the quality of teaching in a classroom. Okay, so it reflects the best quality of teaching in the classroom through the quality of question asked by the students. Okay, next question is, suppose as a teacher you are training your students in public speaking and debate. Which among the following is most difficult to develop among the students? Control over emotions, concept formulation, selecting appropriate language, or voice modulation. Which one will be correct? So here the correct answer will be option number 1, control over emotions. Okay, if a student is in public speaking and debate, the most difficult to develop among student is control over student. Okay. Next question is, which of the following set of statements best describe the nature and objectives of teaching? Okay. So such question we can solve by elimination method. Teaching and learning are integrally related. That is right. There is no difference between teaching and training. It's not correct. Concern of all teaching is to ensure some kind of transformation in students. That is right. All good teaching is formal in nature. That is not right. A teacher is a senior person. That is not appropriate. And teaching is a social act, whereas learning is a personal act. That is right answer. So here the option number 3 is right answer. Teaching and learning are integrally related, and the concern of all teaching is to ensure some kind of transformation in students, and teaching is a social act, whereas learning is a personal act. So option number 3 is correct. Now come to the next question. Which of the following learner characteristics is highly related to effectiveness of teaching? Which one will be correct answer? Please try to answer. Prior experience of the learner, educational status of the parent of the learner, peer groups of the learner, or family size from which the learner comes. So it is very easy question, and in NET exam always question asks, such type of question always asked. So the right answer will be option number 1, prior experience of the learner. Okay, prior experience of the learner is the right answer. So the next question is, from the list of evaluation procedure given below, identify those which will be called formative evaluation. So here the question is about formative evaluations. So come to the options and check that which one is not related to the formative evaluations. So here the option number A, a teacher awards grades to student after having transacted the coursework. It is not part of formative evaluations. It is about summative, because a teacher awards grades to student after having transacted the coursework. It is about summative. During interaction with the student in the classroom, the teacher provides corrective feedback. It is a part of formative evaluation because it talks about during interaction with student in the classroom. Okay. The teacher gives marks to a student on a unit test. It is not part of formative. The teacher clarifies to doubt of a student in the class itself. It is a part of formative evaluation. So option number A, D and F, sorry, option number B, D, F, because option number E and A are not a part of formative evaluation. Option number A, the overall performance of a student reported to parent at every 3 months interval is not part of formative evaluations. So option number 4 is correct option. Okay, B, D, F correct options. Okay, come to the next question. Next question is, all teaching should aim at ensuring learning. Okay, and all learning results from teaching. So which one will be correct? So all teaching should aim at ensuring learning. That is correct. And all learning results from teaching, that is not correct. Okay, so the right answer will be option number 3. A is true but R is false. Okay, now come to the next question. Which one will be the correct answer? Effectiveness of teaching has to be judged in terms of course coverage, students' interest, learning outcome of students, or use of teaching aids. Which one will be correct? So here the right answer will be option number 3, learning outcomes of students. Okay, effectiveness of teaching has to be judged in terms of learning outcome of students. Okay, Next question is, in which teaching method learners' participation is made optimal and proactive? Which one will be correct? Discussion method, buzz session method, brainstorming session method, or project method? Which one will be correct? So here the correct answer will be project method. By project method, learners' participation is made optimal and proactive. Okay. Next question is, one of the most powerful factors affecting teaching effectiveness is related to the. Please check the options and try to answer. Here the right answer will be education system. Okay, one of the most powerful factors affecting teaching effectiveness is related to education system. The next question is about the assertion and reasoning type questions. Assertion is formative evaluation tends to accelerate the pace of learning. That is true. And reason is as against summative evaluation. Formative evaluation is highly reliable. That is false. Okay, so assertion is true and reason is false. So here the right answer will be option number 3. A is true but R is false. Okay, now come to the next question. Which one of the following is a key behavior in effective teaching? Questioning, using student ideas and contribution, structuring, or instructional variety? Which one will be correct? So here the right answer will be instructional variety. Instructional variety is a key behavior in effective teaching. Okay. Next question is, from the list given below, identify the learner characteristics which would facilitate teaching learning system to become effective. Choose correct code. So such type of question, I always say that we can solve by elimination method. Okay, we can eliminate the wrong answer and then we will easily find the correct answer. So here option number A, prior experience of learner is true. Learner family size is wrong. Aptitude of learner is true. Learner stage of development, true. Learner food habits and hobbies is false, and learner religious affiliation is false. So A, C and D is correct option. So option number 2 is correct. So right answer is option number 2. Next question is about assertion and reason type questions. Learning is a lifelong process. It is true. Learning is a lifelong process. Reason is learning to be useful must be linked with life processes. So reason is also true. So here the right answer will be option number A. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Okay. So right answer will be option number 1. Which of the following set of statements represents acceptable propositions in respect of teaching learning relationship? Okay. Question is, which of the following set of statements represents acceptable propositions in respect of teaching learning relationship? Choose the correct code. So here the option number 1, when students fail in a test, it is the teacher who fails, is right. Every teaching must aim at ensuring learning. It is also right. There can be teaching without learning taking place. It is also right. There can be no learning without teaching. There can be no learning without teaching. It is not right because there is learning possible without teaching. We can learn from everything. Okay, so this is not correct. A teacher teaches but learn also. This is right option. And the last one is real learning implies rote learning. This is not correct. So the correct answer will be option number 2. Okay, so option number 2 is correct. Come to the next question. Which of the following set of statements best represents the nature and objective of teaching and learning? Okay. Which of the following set of statements best represents the nature and objective of teaching and learning? Okay, please check the question and try to answer. So option number A is teaching is like selling and learning is like buying is not correct. Teaching is a social act while learning is a personal act is correct. Teaching implies learning, whereas learning does not imply teaching. Okay, so this is also right, and teaching is a kind of delivery of knowledge while learning is like a receiving it. Teaching is an interaction and is a triadic in nature, whereas learning is an active engagement in a subject domain. Which one will be correct? This type of question we can solve by elimination method. So we can check that option number A is quite wrong. Teaching is like selling and learning is like buying is quite wrong. So all the options are wrong in which A is included. So option number 3 will be the right answer. Okay, come to the next question. Next question is about assertion and reason type question. All teaching implies learning. This is correct. And reason is learning to be useful must be derived from teaching. This is not correct. Learning to be useful must be derived from teaching. No, it is not correct. So here the right answer will be option number 4. A is true but R is false. Okay. Next question is select the alternative which consists of positive factors contributing to effectiveness of teaching. Select the alternative which consists of positive factors contributing to effectiveness of teaching. Okay. So please check and try to answer which one will be the right answer. So let's check the options. Teacher's knowledge of the subject, it is right. Teacher's socio-economic background, it is not right. Communication skill of the teacher, it is right. And teacher's ability to please the student, it is not right. Teacher's personal contact with student, not right. Teacher's competence in managing and monitoring the class transactions, it is right. So the answer will be option number D, A, C, F. Okay, by eliminating wrong answer we can easily find the right answer. Okay, identify the important element a teacher has to take cognizance of while addressing students in a classroom. Which one will be correct? Avoidance of proximity, voice modulation, repetitive pause or fixed posture. Which one will be correct? So here the right answer will be option number B, voice modulation.